Advanced, as now we are covering the Sharjah Challenges that happened in 2024. We have the magician herself with the black pieces, Divya Deshmukh, facing off against a really strong Indian player. His name is Dhruv Thota, and now Divya is already the sole leader of the tournament. She is on 2 out of 2, so really an amazing start for her. And even if she is able to get a ensure a draw in this position, it would be absolutely fine. She would become the sole leader, or she would continue to be. So let's see what happens here. E4 was played by Dhruv. Now just comes E5 by Divya. Knight to F3, Knight to C6, and Bishop to B5. We go for the Ruy Lopez. We have Knight to F6. This is the Berlin defense. Castles now, and just knight caps on E4. So this is the Rio gambit basically. Rook to E1, Knight to D6, and now just going for knight caps on E5. And most likely here you either play bishop to E7, trying to just castle, or most likely, I mean, you want to play knight to E7. Knight to E7 was also fine, but not not that much of a move played, because if you try to go for knight to E7 in this position, queen to F3 becomes very strong. So never try that against the Rio. Here just knight caps on E5 was played. Rook captures with the check. Bishop to E7, and here just going for bishop back to F1 all the way back. So here just castles. Now we have D4, and the move that you want to play in this position is maybe bishop to F6, and after the rook goes all the way back, you play knight to F5, and that knight is a very strong piece. You're also targeting that D4 square, so maybe you would want to just put some protection on it. So bishop to E3 does make sense. You develop and put some protection. So bishop to E3, knight caps on E3, and after rook captures, you play C5, and your position would be absolutely fine, challenging the center. But what you don't want to do after knight to F5 is play move like bishop to F4, because the thing is that you don't want to give up the central pawn. You might think it would be okay if you try to give up the central pawn, you can just get some development in, but that's not how the Rio gambit is played. So here after D4, we have knight to E8. Not going for all of this madness, just playing calm moves. And now the thing is that if you want to take advantage of the white pieces that you would normally want to, you want to play D5. And D5 is a very decent move, and a very decent attempt to be able to try and do something with the white pieces. Maybe bishop to C5, because you would want to play D6 only after you've gotten the bishop out of the cage, and after rook to E1 you play D6, knight to C3, and after bishop to F5 just play knight to E4, and position will be absolutely fine. Maybe you're gonna have to give up the bishop pair early on, but still it doesn't matter that very much. But here after knight to E8, we have rook all the way back to E1, not going for all of these knights. D5 now, and now just going for bishop to F4. We have bishop to D6. Now just going for queen to F3, and we see a lot of trades happening in the center. First we have bishop captures, queen captures, and now just queen to D6 asking for a queen trade, queen captures and knight captures. So Divya went for all of these trades, and now she's definitely going to try to win this game, maybe in the end game. So let's see if the game would turn out to be a draw as it is looking right now, or maybe she has something up her sleeve. Here just bishop to D3, now just comes bishop to F5 asking for more trades. Bishop captures, knight captures, and now it's going to be very difficult to try and go for a win in this position. Here C3 was played, and if you want some complications in the game, maybe you try and go for rook A to E8. Just ask for a trade. First, maybe knight to D2, you play knight to D6, and after knight to F3, knight to E4. That knight on E4 would be a very powerful piece. If you go knight to E5, then just F6 comes, knight goes to D7, attacking that rook, and after rook to F7, you play knight to C5, attacking my B7 pawn. But you don't have to worry about the B7 pawn. First, king to F8, just putting some extra muscle towards defending that rook, because it would be under pressure once you move the knight. So here, just knight caps on B7, but rook to B8 will solve all your problem. Knight to C5, rook caps on B2, and once your knight and the rook are attacking that pawn, your rook is very active. Somewhere along the line that's going to be beneficial, but still with best play this position should be a draw. But here after C3 we have F6, immediately not going for all of these lines. Knight to D2, and now just comes king to F7, and here just rook to E2. If you go for this, I don't think so there is anything to do, because here just rook captures, king to F1, knight to D6, rook to E1, and you trade everything, you go into an endgame. Most likely this position would be a draw. But here after rook to E2 we have rook F to D8, so avoiding a draw and trying to still go for some chances in the position, though there is not much life in the position. But maybe she was hoping that there could be some blunders, could be some inaccuracy which will give her some imbalance in the position. Definitely it's just move 19, you don't want to force a draw in this position. So here just A4, now A5, we have finally going for this rook A to E1, but now even H5, playing on both sides of the board. This is this is like once stockfish when he played off against Alpha Zero, playing on both sides of the board. Definitely not a principal idea, but well, if it works, then why not? Hey, just b3 would be a really nice move, because rook to d6, you play h3, and after h4, just taking away the squares. Most likely, you're gonna have to play a move like g3, h captures, f captures, knight caps on g3. Seems like a sacrifice of a pawn, but there would be some counterplay by going for a move like rook to e7. This, and the thing is that once you play king to f2, just attack the knight. Once the knight moves, maybe you just grab the pawn, and after recapturing the pawn, you can maybe try to double up towards the seventh rank, and you might be able to have some counterplay here. But the thing is that most likely still that would be a draw, though. I mean, there would be much chances for white in that scenario, but I don't think so anyone would allow this. But after h5, we have g3, and now just comes this rook to d7, h4, rook to e7, and king to g2, and here just rook caps on e2 was paid. Now just going for rook caps on e2, we have knight to d6, and here just knight to b3 was paid, and it was on this move, on just move 26. Yes, a very early draw for both of these players. But the thing is that Divya is already leading the tournament. She thinks that her chances with the white pieces would be much better when she actually goes towards the next round. So drawing with black here is absolutely fine, a really fine result for her. With this, she continues to be the sole leader of the tournament. She's gonna have to really work hard for her meals, because it's not gonna be an easy round tomorrow, because you will be facing the leader of the tournament, or the second of the tournament, and you're gonna try to work your way from there to be able to try and win this tournament, and that's definitely not going to be easy. But with the way that she has been playing ever since Tata Steels, ever since Baku, and ever since the Polish league, she has been in tremendous form, and I hope she continues her form like this. And it's not even about winning all of these tournaments. What's more important is actually that she's playing really mature chess, experienced chess, and it shows. The moves that she's playing and all of these things are very much showing that her potential is very high in the game, and she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with some of these amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.